Hi guys, this is Dr. Tammy Stewart from PT2Excel here in Yelm, Washington to talk to you about Kinesio Tape. Kinesio Tape comes in a variety of brands. They're all good. I like rock tape a little bit better than the rest because it's a little thicker. So it lasts through sweat, through water, a little bit longer than some of the other brands. So that's why I've chosen it to show you today. Now, I also don't hate that it comes in super fun colors and patterns. So basics of rock tape or all Kinesio tape. The rules apply to everybody. So you can do different things with it by applying it different ways. So it has all this backing on it. When I do a piece of Kinesio tape, you can cut it to whatever length you want. So for this, I'm going to tape my knee today. So let's say my knee's been bothering me and I want to give it a little extra support with the tape. So I want to kind of preliminarily measure my knee. So top to bottom, this is about the length I need. Great. Notice that when you cut it, it's got squared edges. So I'm going to round those edges because they're less likely to catch on clothing when you take like pants or shorts and undies on and off for the purpose of a knee or shirts for the purposes of a shoulder. So I've rounded my edges so they're less likely to catch on my clothing. And then you want to create two anchor strips. So I tear the paper. Kinesio tape is stretchy, so this tears real easy. And then the same thing on the other side. Two little anchor pieces. These are about 2 inches on each side for a piece of tape this side. The bigger the piece of tape, the bigger your anchor strips need to be. So now I've got this like 3-section situation. Now, depending on what I want to do with this, I'm going to apply it with different amounts of tension. If I have an angry muscle and I just want to get it to calm down, I'm going to put very little tension in it because I want very little tension into the muscle. If I want something to be really well supported and really activated, I'm going to put a lot more tension, up to about 50%. So what does that mean? Now, if I were just going to like show you on this piece of tape, so you can kind of see the pattern. So if I apply it with a teeny tiny bit of stretch to it, you can see how like that's its normal size. Teeny tiny bit of stretch, that's going to inhibit a muscle, meaning calm it down, meaning encourage it to relax. Now, if I apply it with more tension, then it's going to encourage that muscle to be more springy because the Kinesio tape is springy. So the more tension you apply to it, the springier it becomes. So if I want to give my knee a lot of support, I want a lot of springiness in it, that's how I'm going to apply it. Now, you can apply it like I have done here with, I'm still holding onto my anchor strip, so the oil of my skin is not getting on the adhesive of the tape. That's one bonus. But I can also really control where I put it. So I can stretch it to my like nice supportive stretching, and then I can apply it just like this onto the knee. You want to make sure that you're not getting any little like bumps or folds in it. Try and smooth them out if you do get any. And then notice my little anchor strip is not attached here, not attached here. So then I'm going to peel off that anchor strip and put that down with no tension in it because it's an anchor. So we don't want tension in our anchors. And so the same thing with this guy up top here. And try not to get a little fold in it. There we go. So Kinesio tape of all brands has heat activated glue. So you want to give it a good rub to get that glue really activated. You want to make sure that you're not rubbing, of course, to peel up the edges, but you want to get a nice good rub here. So I've chosen to apply this kind of around the knee to support the kneecap. So my next piece will be the same on the other side so that it forms kind of a diamond almost around the kneecap. So I'm going to measure that. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to show you a slightly different way to apply it. So I still want a support, but maybe I want to encourage that kneecap to be lifted. So it feels like maybe my knee's really weighted down. So again, I've rounded my edges here. I'm going to create my 2 anchor strips. Now I'm going to peel off 1 anchor strip. So before I peeled off the middle, now I'm peeling off one anchor strip and I'm being really careful not to touch the glue with my finger. And I'm gonna put it right on top here of that other piece and stick it down. Then I'm gonna grab my other anchor strip. I'm gonna pull off the middle strip here, bend my knee up, add my tension, and lay it down. And then once I've laid it down, I can peel off that last little anchor piece and lay that last anchor down with no tension. And like always, I'm gonna rub and get that glue heat activated to stick. Now, so I've created this like kind of little diamond thing around my kneecap. So that gives it some nice support. There are so many different ways to tape stuff. So this is one option for a knee taping. You can also do a taping that's just like from here to here. So it looks like I've taken the tape in kind of a little smiley face. Totally an option. You could do both of those. You could do the little diamond here plus a little smile if you feel like you really need that pressure off of that patellar tendon here. So many options, so many variables. If you feel like you need a little extra support on the inside or the outside, you can take a strip kind of straight like that. You can do it with your knee straight. You can do it with your knee bent. You can be as creative as you want. I recommend experimenting. So if you haven't seen a medical professional to show you what taping they think is best for you, then totally experiment or go see a medical professional, whether it's us or somebody else. But this is one option. There are many out there. To peel it off, you can do it when it's in the shower. You can go with the grain, against the grain. It just peels right off. There's no like magical way to take it off. The tension that you pull it off with doesn't matter compared to the tension that you apply it with. So if I wanted to calm something down, like let's say like, man, this part of my calf was just so crampy and angry. So I'd say, okay, I want a piece of tape from there to there. I want to calm this muscle down. I'm going to curve my edges, always. I'm going to make my anchors, always. So this is a much shorter piece of tape, so I'm making a much shorter anchor. Okay, now this is the important part, the tension that I apply it with. So for this, it doesn't matter if you start from the top down or the bottom up. What does matter is that tension. So again, nothing with the anchor. So I stick the anchor. Now, this is going to be what's called paper off tension. So I'm going to fold it over. Let me turn so you can see it a bit better. There we go. And then I'm just going to peel the paper off while I'm coming behind and tacking it down. Now I'm not pushing it, so I'm just coming behind and tacking it down as I peel the paper off. So it's called paper off tension. And then the anchor piece, I take it off, I push it down with no tension. I rub it to activate that heat activated glue. And now I've got a nice calming bit of tape on my calf. So paper off tension to calm something. A lot more tension, up to, they call it 50% of the integrity of the tape. So if you kind of take a little piece and you stretch it as far as it'll stretch, you want to go about halfway to be 50% tension. So you kind of have to like have an experiment piece to play around with what that tension feels like to you. And then 50% tension really revs up a muscle or gives you a lot of stability and support. Paper off tension calms a muscle. Well, let's say you have swelling and you want to get swelling out. Now we're going to use our paper off tension, but we're going to create a basket weave type of thing. Now, in this scenario, I'm only going to round one set of edges. So one set of edges, the other is square. And I'm going to cut this into 4 strips, leaving an anchor piece. So it's kind of going to look like a jellyfish. So I cut my middle bit. So now I've got 2 little pieces with the top together. And then I'm going to create a couple more little legs here. And then here's where you can choose to take a little more time and take all of these squared edges here and curve each one of them, or not. If you don't, they're more likely to catch on clothing. If you do, it just takes a little extra time. So now, let's say I've got swelling in my calf, in my like lower ankle. So I'm gonna go as far down as possible, really. You don't wanna be in the foot, but you wanna get down to that ankle swelling. And I'm gonna tear the paper right where my little tentacles meet the top of that jellyfish looking thing, okay? So that's where I've torn it. You can see it bends really nicely there. So you're trying to get this swelling out of the limb. You're trying to encourage it to go back to the body so that you can get rid of it. You don't want it getting stuck in the bottom of a foot or in a hand or wherever. So you take your little jellyfish top, and then I peel it back just a smidge so that I have enough of that anchor piece to stick without touching it with my fingers. So I'm gonna stick it right here, stick down my anchor piece, and then I'm gonna work on my little tentacles. So I'm gonna peel it back to where I can grab that paper, and it's paper off tension. And I'm gonna follow it with my finger down here, and I'm peeling the paper off as I lay it down. And then that last little bit, you don't need any tension on. And so I've got one tentacle down. Next, I'm gonna spread it out a little bit. So we're kind of fanning out the tentacles here. So again, paper off tension. I'm laying it down as I pull it off. There we go. Give that a little rub. Next, paper off tension, laying it down. There we go. The fourth one is going to go even farther back and curving around here. So I've got this nice looking argyle jellyfish situation happening. Now you can do a whole bunch of these. So let's say like the entire ankle, lower calf part of you is swollen. So you might start a little higher with your jellyfish guy. You might have a second or a third jellyfish guy on the other side. You might overlap tentacles to create kind of a basket weave pattern here. It all works. So you can be as creative as you want. And if you have a ton of swelling, I recommend like the more tentacles pulling that swelling out of your limb, the better. Now, is the tape really pulling your swelling out of your limb? No. What it's doing is gently lifting the skin to create a path of least resistance. Fluid is lazy. So first of all, swelling is fluid. Fluid is lazy. Fluid is gonna go wherever the path of least resistance is. So if this part of your tissue is like your normal level of tension, but this has been slightly lifted, it's going to create a path there. So it's gonna just make it easier for your body to get that fluid out of there. So why not? Make it a little easier on your lymphatic system, your fluid moving system. Now, I would also, let's say I have like swelling in the ankle and lower leg, I wouldn't just stop here because I don't want the swelling to stop here. I want it to work all the way up. So I would put another jellyfish here and another jellyfish here to take this fluid and move it even farther up the limb. So that's how you do Kinesio tape for support, Kinesio tape for calming a muscle that's too tense, Kinesio tape for swelling. So hope that's helpful. Feel free to reach out with questions or concerns. There are a bajillion different ways to tape every different body part, but the principles are the same. It's what do you want to do and how do you want to do it? So if you want to facilitate a muscle contraction, as in like get it to contract more tension. If you want to calm a muscle down, less tension. If you want to support a joint, more tension. If you want to get swelling out of something, less tension and jellyfish. So feel free to like, subscribe, follow us, click below to head to our website and check us out and what we have to offer. And we would love to hear from you. So comment below if you would like. Feel free to check out all our other videos for tips and tricks. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and now you know a little bit more about what to do with Kinesio tape. Thanks.